You know, when you think about really clever storytelling, you probably think of a big blockbuster movie or some best-selling book, right? Well, what if I told you some of the best stuff is hiding in plain sight, inside a simple kid song? Today, we're going to dive into the Halloween version of The Wheels on the Bus and see how it's actually a little masterpiece of suspense.
So we all know the original song. It's safe, it's totally predictable, it's just about a normal bus ride. But check out what the Halloween version does. The very first trick it pulls isn't even about the bus.
This new ride, believe it or not, is broken down almost like a movie. It starts with Act 1, building the spooky world. This whole first part is all about the setup. It takes something we all know, a bus ride, and just twists it. Just enough to make things feel a little off, turning something totally normal into something kind of ominous.
And the way it does this is so smart. The words they chose are super specific, you know? The roads aren't just dark, they're creepy. It's not just getting late, it's the night. But here's the real genius move, the pumpkins that look down at you. That's the key right there. It takes a harmless decoration and turns it into something that's actively watching. All of a sudden, the world itself has eyes.
So think about what's really going on. We haven't even seen a single monster yet, but the song has already built up this key ingredient of suspense, paranoia. That feeling of being watched, right? That you're being judged by your surroundings. I mean, that's a classic horror technique. And here it is, working perfectly in a little kid's song. It's just setting the stage.
All right, let's move on to Act 2, because this is where things really start to ramp up. That vague, creepy feeling we had, it's about to turn into a very real and very close danger. The song totally shifts gears here. We're done just setting the scene. Now we're bringing in the threat, and it's gonna escalate.
And the way it escalates is just perfect. Look at these 4 steps. First, it's just observation. The pumpkins are looking at you. Then it turns into pursuit. Now pumpkin monsters are actively chasing the bus. After that comes proximity. They're not just behind you, they're on the road with you. And finally, the ultimate move, infiltration. The monsters are inside. The one safe place you thought you had, it's gone.
And that leads us to this absolute gem of a line. There's a monster sitting right next to you. I mean, come on. The danger isn't out there anymore. It's not on the street. It's not even at the back of the bus. It has crossed that final line and is in your personal space. For a little kid, that is the absolute peak of scary fun. The threat is as close as it can possibly get. A monster is inside. The threat is right next to you. This is when the song kicks into its final act. It now has to answer the big question. Who is actually in charge of this crazy ride? And probably more important, how is this all going to end?
I mean, really pause and think about it. The whole situation feels totally out of control, right? You've got monsters chasing you, you've got a monster sitting beside you. So who in the world is in the driver's seat? The song just lets that question hang there for a second, building that final bit of suspense.
And the reveal? It's a ghostly pumpkin. Of course it is. It's the perfect answer. The biggest, baddest supernatural creature in this little Halloween universe is the one in charge. This is the moment we realize, okay, this is not a normal bus ride at all. It is 100% controlled by these spooky forces.
You know, there's another great little detail here. The song comes right out and says, the people on the bus are very scared. It doesn't just hint at it, it spells it out. And by doing that, it basically tells the kid it's okay to be scared. Look, everyone else is scared too. It's such a clever way to manage those feelings and create a shared experience.
But right at that moment, when the fear is at its absolute highest, you've got a ghost driving a bus full of monsters and scared people. The whole story just slams on the brakes. The bus comes to a stop. And then that's it. No big fight, no escape. We just get the ending. Wish you a very scary Halloween. The danger is just gone. Poof. Replaced by a nice, friendly holiday wish.
So what is going on here? This whole thing, this structure, it's not random. It's a formula, and it's a really brilliant one. We can call it the safe scare. It's a way to give you all the thrill and excitement of being scared, but it all happens inside a framework that's completely controlled and, in the end, totally harmless.
Official definition, you could say, the safe scare is a storytelling technique that builds up all the suspense and excitement with scary stuff, but it's always built to guarantee a safe and reassuring ending. It's kind of like a roller coaster, right? You get all the thrills and the drops, but you know you're strapped in and it's gonna end safely.
So let's look at the pieces that make this work in our song. First off, you've got that super familiar tune. That melody is like a safety blanket. You always know where it's going. Then there's the repetition in the lyrics, that predictable,
all through the town. It actually lowers your anxiety. The threat gets bigger, sure, but it's a controlled threat. Nobody ever gets hurt. And the biggest rule, the ending is always sudden and it's always happy.
So the big takeaway here is that none of this is an accident. The spooky fun in this song is completely intentional. It's basically a little training course in managing your emotions, teaching kids how to feel the thrill of being scared in a world that is, from start to finish, to be completely safe.
And that kind of brings us to a final thought. Once you see the safe scare formula, you start spotting it everywhere. It really makes you wonder, right? What other simple things, songs, cartoons, stories we tell our kids, are secretly way more complex than they look? What other little masterpieces are just hiding out there in plain sight?